y'all. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here, and I am so excited to talk about the topic that you see on the thumbnail. I hope everything went out there without a hitch, because I'm excited. I'm so excited. Now, yesterday I had actually planned to come back online and do a couple more stories, but as I was finishing up the last live from yesterday, a couple other stories started breaking. So I wanted to cover all of those, and I need to do some shifting. But long story short, look, I went down the rabbit hole of all things this topic that I'm going to talk about today. And so I figured it was nice to just go ahead and start off the day fresh with something that was just so lovely and so exciting, especially for those of us who follow this couple and to just enjoy all of what they share with us. I am a fan of this coupling, Nelly and Ashanti. Oh, I'm so excited to actually be doing a video for them because, I've been doing videos here on this particular channel for a while, and they're a couple that I hadn't had an opportunity to actually cover. So this is actually the first one, and I am super excited about that. And one thing about this couple is they really do give the concept of hope. And I just appreciate that. And especially with so many things going on, they're just not great, let's just say, keeping it as light as I possibly can, because there are a lot of things happening, people around the world, and here at home as well. So it's just so nice to be able to kind of fill in the time with some respite if you can. And so I do hope that you will enjoy this video. And as I shared, I did go live yesterday, and I do realize that the music was a little bit louder than I would have liked it to be. I do like to have a little bit of music. I love the ambiance. So I do hope that you will go ahead and take a look at that video, and go ahead and leave your respectful comments down below, because it was a bit of a doozy. But yeah, I'm just so glad to be back here again today and glad to talk about this couple, because this is become one of my favorite couples. Now, here's the funny thing. I never really was into celebrity couples, and I'm still really not. I think with this coupling, I just actually appreciate the showing of love, real love, so to speak, as much as you can put that out there without showing every aspect of your relationship, which no one is entitled to, but you two, correct? So at the end of the day, the fact that they show the beautiful pics and just the wonderful moments that they have, it's just really fun to be a part of that. And I actually went down the rabbit hole of their lives out on Instagram and some of their videos last summer, actually. And I don't know what actually sparked that. I must have been in a mood, and I needed something to make me laugh. And I came across maybe one of Nelly's videos, and I just kind of went into it. And then I found Ashanti's Instagram, and I just watched some of her videos, and it's just so full of life and joy and happiness and vacation and vacation and vacation. And quite frankly, I am overdue for one of those myself. So it was just a lot of fun to watch some of those videos and stuff. So, they're just a really kind of a feel-good type of couple, right? And for those of us who are in relationships, I think that one of the beautiful things about what they share in their relationship is that it's not a perfect situation, but it is a workable situation. And, I don't think that we should look to necessarily others to make an exact replica of their situation into our own personal situations. But I do think it's nice when you can find aspects of what you think and what they show that is beautiful and is loving and is caring and dedicated and all those things, and apply those to your situation for what that looks like for your relationship. And quite frankly, if you're in a relationship that is full of toxicity and you're not enjoying life and you don't feel good about yourself, they don't make you feel good about yourself, you have things that you need to work on, I suggest you get out of it. That's just my recommendation. That's my not so humble opinion. Get out of it. Find a way and make a way and move on. This world is moving rapidly in a direction that I think a lot of us are probably not too interested in going. I do feel that you need to take the time to really value the things that are important in life, and part of that is taking care of you as well. You cannot be available for other individuals if you cannot be available to yourself, and that is my business. Stand down, goes down, whatever you want to say. Exactly how I feel about that. this life is just too short. Sorry, it really is. There's billions of people out here in the world. There's no reason to be in a relationship that is stressing you out to the max. Now also one of the things that is so beautiful about this couple is that, we've got to see, as much as we did anyways, an actual coming together and then a breakup and then a coming together in a way that nobody probably expected. But I think a lot of us who are fans of them, whether individually, together, or what have you, always kind of hoped to be. Now, I remember that when, I think there was like an announcement back in 2013, was when I first heard they had broken up. Now, they were pretty coy about things back in the day as well, which is fine, whatever. I don't care. As long as you keep playing the good music, that's really all I'm here for anyways, because that's my joy. No expectation on knowing anything about your personal life, so I'm all good with that, just making that good music. But so when they came out, it was a bit of a, I don't know, maybe a press release or something like that. I have no idea. I don't know if it was on the news or it was an article I read or whatever. And it was actually, sadly enough, a sad time for me personally at the time that the announcement was made. And it was kind of one of those things where it was like, I never really thought of them in that way as far as, oh my gosh, I have to see what's going on next, from next to next, right? It was just they were one of those couples that were, hey, they're together and they're over here and they're doing fine. That's good. Like, it's in the back of your mind that there's happiness there, and that's good, right? It's kind of like the song that runs in your head, right? Anything that's positive and things that are going well around you and for others, just makes you feel good. And so when I remember hearing the announcement that they were no longer together, I was like, wow. Okay. But I always kind of felt at that time, because I'm a bit of a romantic, but I also like a realist as well. I'm a realist romantic at heart. And I just felt like their story wasn't finished. I don't know why, but that's how I felt. So if you are a fan of theirs, whether together, separately, whatever have you, when you heard the news and they broke up, did you feel bad? I mean, drop that down in the comment section. I would love to know that. Hopefully we're not the only one. I've kind of, read some comments in different areas in which other people felt the same thing. It just didn't feel finished. It felt very much unfinished. And sometimes in things like that, you have to just take a step back, and that's okay to do so. I often feel like a relationship, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, what have you, that if you find yourself in a position where you need to make a pause to that situation, it's best to do that if you ever think that there's a possibility that something can come together down the line. Also, I feel that if you don't look at it as a situation where something can come together down the line, that's okay too. But I think it's better to depart before things get so messy and you become so jaded and so upset and withdrawn and all those things that you yourself cannot move on to things that you need to. Just because people come into your life does not mean they're always meant to stay in your life. And I do definitely believe in the concept of reason, a season, and a lifetime. And not everybody in our lives are meant to be lifetime commitment situations. Whether, again, it's friendship, acquaintances, whatever the case may be, sometimes even family. And that can be really difficult for us to go through at times. And, it's supposed to be, because at the end of the day, if someone actually meant something to you, then, having a parting of the ways sometimes in those situations where it's best, it's good to be able to do that, because I think a lot of the guilt that you may feel, if you feel any guilt, or just the anger, right? Because if a story or chapter ends, you want to make sure that you're open for anything else new that comes in. You don't want to close yourself off from the blessings that can come your way. You're so busy worried about something that should never have been in the first place. Now, for those situations, which are really like anomalies, in the case of NELLY and Ashanti, sometimes those things are meant to come back around again. But in their case, I'm sure you would have seen it, and the only way you could not have seen it is if you were clearly not on this planet, because it's been everywhere. They have taken over the complete internet for all intents and purposes, and I love every bit of it. But yeah, if as you can see with them, even when they made the parting of their ways, it really was a good opportunity for them to work on themselves and do whatever they needed to do, separate and apart from the situation, with maybe no real expectation of getting back together. Now, quite frankly, in my opinion, I think NELLY always felt that he was going to find his way back. Ashanti may have been a little bit different, but isn't that always the way? But yeah, and then who knows? Maybe she felt, there was always a little bit of spark there too. But at the end of the day, things were working back then, and so we can part ways and move on. We have, a whole life to live, and nobody should be in a situation where you cannot live without them, so to speak, right? I mean, you have to function in this world. So at the end of the day, obsession is never a good thing unless it is. But I digress. So anyways, so like many of those of us who actually do enjoy the pairing of this couple, there has been so much video footage that's been dropped for months now. I think like I'm going through this for over a year, which again is so astonishing to me because I do love a good pop culture moment, but I've never been one of those ones that were really into it that heavily. And then all of a sudden one day I just became into it, and it was before this situation, but where I just became interested. I don't know, maybe I needed to relax, a break from everyday life. I don't know, because I have a very type A life, so therefore sometimes you just need to escape, and that fits very well for me, and that's why I'm overdue for a vacation. But yeah, so anywho, it was just so nice to see all of the spottings and stuff like that with them too, and you kind of felt like something's going on there. But at the end of the day, you don't want to hope for too much, right? And most certainly I wasn't that vested until I was, and I had to sit there thinking, why am I so invested in this couple? Like, why do I even care? Because at the end of the day, I don't really concern myself with worrying about anybody else. But with them, oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. They seem like beautiful people inside and out. Now, of course, we don't really know them, okay? And only if you're in their camp, it's the only ones that are going to know them. But just speaking from someone on the outside looking in, I think it's a beautiful love story. I think it's a realistic love story for situations in which you come back around. I don't mean when you go back and forth with someone, on and off, on and off, on and off, and it's as toxic as it was before. I mean, when you're actually in a situation, you take a break, you come back years later, really refreshed, I would say, accomplished in so many different things, and still have that love that stayed right there between you and that person. I think that is one of the most beautiful things. And for me, I think what I take from their relationship is just those beautiful moments in the appreciation of an individual. Sometimes we don't realize the blessings that come into our lives, right? Sometimes we overlook things because either we're too busy, or sometimes we may not think we deserve things. And sometimes we put ourselves in a position where we're always wondering, is there something out there better? And I'm here to tell you, in my opinion, you may feel differently, and that's okay. But in my opinion, if you find something really good, there ain't always too much out there in these streets. Straight up, it isn't. And this has been like that since the beginning of time, I would say. It was no different when I was younger. It's no different now. Matter of fact, it probably is a little bit harder now with all of the other things going on that I didn't have to deal with so much when I was in the dating scene. And I've been married for quite some time, so I'm very happy about that. And marriages, relationships, they're hard, and they're challenging, or they can be fun and uplifting. It's a combination of both. And you just have to decide which one is for you and what is the best information and how you want to show up, right? And right now, for me, they show up in all the best ways. And I absolutely love it. And they're just fun. And I've been following their concerts and stuff as well. A lot of people have taken to several fan pages, put together really great edits of their videos. And I think it's really nice. It's a testament to how they reach people in a real way. And I think that's really important. I think that sometimes people get so caught up in celebrityism and they don't really realize that individuals are people. And yes, they may be here to entertain us in whatever facet and genre that they're in, but they're still people and they're still human. And just because you are a celebrity does not mean you're a good person. Okay? And we are finding that out in droves. But look, this has not ever been anything new, right? This has always been the case. So at the end of the day, people are people, and they're no better than you, me, and I, whatever the case may be. Okay, so at the end of the day, we just want to just enjoy what they share, what they give, and what kind of joy they bring to us, and sense of memories. One thing that I will say is, for sure, both of them as artists have kept us in a chokehold for many years. And go back and forth with who you like more and not more up to it's irrelevant. But the music, the time, every time I look at Ashanti or listen to Ashanti music, I do think of summertime. Matter of fact, when she came out, I was living in Florida, and the epitome of summertime at the time as well. And so it's just a fond memory. It's a warm feeling, and you do need those times and opportunities to escape. So So that is what, she gives me in that way. And same thing with Nelly, just fun, not everything has to be so serious. But there's always a message either way, whether you take it as such or not. I love a smart, not always have to be in your face kind of moment. So, and there's a reason why they've been around for as long as they have in such a way. And they do seem like really cool people and, approachable in a way that's in a safe environment, obviously, type of individual. And so that's always nice. I'm very sensitive sometimes to individuals. So, you get a feeling about somebody. It doesn't matter if they are a celebrity or not celebrity. You just get a feeling. And I have one of those. Sometimes our radars go off and you can kind of see or feel something, behind the screen of someone. And you kind of tell you, that's probably not going to happen. And they've just never been that for me. So I am just really excited for them. I'm excited for the new bundle of joy that is on the way. I know that was one of the highly anticipated things for them is, here start that family, right? But at the end of the day, it takes time to reconnect. It takes time to make sure that you're still in a place, not even just in the current place, right? Can this move forward without bringing any of the old stuff back? And a lot of us, I'll say a lot of us, I'll just speak for myself and you let me know, spinning the block, right? I mean, clearly that's a thing. And a lot of us probably have done it. And with less circumstances that would be favorable for us. In this way, I would say this was a successful spin the block, like really in front of our face, we were watching successful spin the block. And what is a beauty about them as well is even if it doesn't work out, they're going to be good on their own as well. And that's the sign of a healthy relationship, right? I mean, we can get into the romanticizing of being together, being in a couple, and just being excited about being them. And oh my gosh, they give you life. And oh my gosh, you just can't be without them. But if you're not happy within yourself on your own, without them in your space, it's one thing to miss them. It's one thing to love on them. It's one thing to, kind of just feel like, oh, I wish you were here. But if you find your life is so wrapped up in just them, I don't see how that's really going to work for either party, to be honest with you. That's just my thoughts. You're more than welcome to leave those comments and how you feel about that down below, because I would love to know your thoughts, your feelings about this as well. And at this point too, when I reflect back on why is it that I'm invested in this particular couple, because I'm just not invested in anyone else as far as a couple them and that kind of thing. I think for me is, and I might have mentioned this a little bit earlier too, about what they bring, but it's also just, the realism of the space and time and really reflecting on things that were important to us. And I kind of feel like Nelly did a checklist of things in his life. And this is just my thoughts, but I feel like he just did a checklist when he got to a place of saying, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. Check, check, check. Starting open, selling over masters. Check. Getting this new deal. Getting Moonshine together, check. Get Ashanti back, check. Bring back the St. Limited, check. This is what I feel like in a way that how he did things. And one thing about what I appreciate about Nelly is that he's very steadfast in what he's doing. And I know that there's been a lot of communication, and we're not going to go into all of that, whether it be negative or positive. She's not interested. So, would love for definitely nothing but negative and positive and just reflective and mature, comments down below. But, he seems he's not deterred, and it didn't matter. And he always, to me, gives that kind of bravado anyway. He's going to go after what he wants. And if he wants it, he's going to make it happen. And quite frankly, I think that's a nice tactic as long as, you do it within the confines of, all the right things. But, I digress. Look, a little bit of flirting is a beautiful thing. Being known to your partner, letting you know exactly how they feel is a beautiful thing. And just basking in that. So, yeah, I am just so excited for this couple. I am so excited for their family. You look at them, they're always smiling. It's a beautiful thing. And yes, smile, 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 and smile, because life is too damn short and it can be too damn hard. And it is so nice to find moments with people that you're supposed to be with, that you should have in your aura, and being able to bring them together. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be a perfect love. There's no such thing as perfection. I mean, my goodness, anyone thinks that everything's got to be, rosy, rosy, rosy. You are fooling yourself. And that's just what it is. At the end of the day, you have to come to terms with what works for you and what works for your situation and what benefits you. And what somebody's outside looks like does not guarantee that it's going to be a happy solution. But I will tell you this, and here's my thoughts on that. Personally, I'm not one that is interested much in spinning the block, but at this point, I've not had that opportunity either in quite some time, because like I said, I am happily in my situation. But what I will say is that, look, the man looked good. So, it'd be worth a conversation. But so I'm so glad they found themselves together, because quite frankly, I don't see them either with anybody else. Like, anybody else, for me, in my opinion, my thoughts, just doesn't make sense. That's just my opinion. There's no shade or shite against anyone that they may have dealt with in the past. Everybody learns their lessons. Everybody gets what they need from that relationship. And then hopefully you move on and find the actual person you're supposed to be with, right? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't pay wasting your time trying to be with someone who you're not really compatible with, or who doesn't want to be with you, or who you really don't want to be with. And not for the sake of being on your own or not. Quite frankly, sometimes taking a step back, being out of a relationship can be extremely refreshing. So, make sure you take care of you, because if you are not taken care of, there's no way you're going to be an actual viable partner in any relationship. So that's my talk about love, I guess. I'll probably talk about that a lot in other kind of conversations and chats too, because relationships are really important to me, and growing and ever growing in relationships and having people being really cognizant of who you have around you is really important. And I just feel like for both of them, they are just, they were great on their own. Take nothing from them being on their own, or take nothing from them being on their own in other situations. But my gosh, if they are not a force together. And that is the kind of relationship that I like. Whoever I am with, I want to be good on my own. They, fabulous on my own, quite frankly, and well and kept and well in town, and all the mental health all in the right place. And then whoever comes into my life, I want it to be an added, not anything that takes away from, not anything that distracts from. And when I say distract, meaning I'm so busy paying attention to them that I'm not looking at myself, right? That's not a relationship I would prescribe to for either. So at the end of the day, it's just so nice to be able to see two very individual people get together and make it work. They're have a company and they're doing stuff together, and it's probably not the only company they're doing, and I don't think it'll be the last company they'll be doing together. They work together. They meld. They belong together. So seeing and hearing the reconnection of them two, at the end of the day, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. And I'm just so happy for them. I really am. And they have dropped again so many videos and clips and stuff. And I don't know where you may have been when the verses came out. And I really wasn't into watching the verses so much. I've seen a couple of pairings, but quite frankly, not all of them. And I think I will one day when I have some time to go down the rabbit hole, find on YouTube all the verses I can come up with and watch them all, because they were a lot of fun, and it was a nice respite from what we were going on and dealing with in real life. So definitely saw how influential they were and definitely in this pairing, and just the whole story and how that all broke up is wonderful. There's plenty of videos out there on YouTube that talks about it in greater detail. Instagram has a lot of stuff out there. Joe, Fat Joe used to be, I don't even call Fat Joe anymore. But he talks about his feelings, and he had a live that was, I think, like the day after that versus was September 2021. And it was just fun. And I knew when I was watching that live, because I wasn't thinking that they would get back together. I mean, the world was literally falling apart. So anything that was of joy, it wasn't like the first on my mind that I expected to happen. But what ended up taking place, which I thought was such a beautiful thing, is that as we started talking and conversating, I was like, there's something happening over here. And I wasn't even listening to anything Ashanti was saying as far as who she was with or not. I mean, maybe that was the case. That's fine. If she don't have to explain herself at all. But I look in the eye, praise God. It's something in the mannerisms, right? And if you're perceptive and intuitive to that, you'll see those things. And sometimes they're very obvious, and sometimes they're a bit more coy. And I think it was once that hug happened, once that connection happened, it was it. And really, quite frankly, it was when the cosmos got together and set things in motion before even versus even happened. So at the end of the day, things were happening in the universe to make this come together, just like things happen in the universe for things to come together for us, right? So if you're looking for a new job or new opportunities, whatever the case may be, starting business, new relationships, blah, 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 whatever, the sky's the limit. The universe works in our favor as well if you allow and you believe and you do what you need to do to get yourself in position. But I do feel like sometimes, things just kind of happen. And, sometimes it can be in whatever your beliefs that that's happening. And I just think that they're just such a wonderful situation and quite an example of watching God's work, quite frankly. If you take the celebrity out of it, focus on the people, the relationship itself, right? And coming together itself. Again, said the life is just way too short. And so when you can find your person, and congratulations to all of you if you have, quite frankly. And if you haven't, hope is always still there, you just kind of go in retrospect for yourself. That's just kind of an initial wrap up, a little bit longer than I anticipated to share as far as opening up about this couple. But I just find them to be really refreshing, quite frankly, and there's not a lot of scandal stuff going around them, and I think that's always great and fun. I mean, quite frankly, life is scandalous enough. But again, for any of the individuals who feel like, maybe this may not last or not, I mean, it really doesn't matter, right? Well, all it matters is what those two people do and what they bring to it. And I think that, karma is something, and I do think that there's some individuals who associated with their pairing, whether before or after, or dealing with their own karmas. And if you pay close attention, you'll probably see that. And maybe not so much close attention. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever you put out in the universe, I wholeheartedly believe you will get back. And not always in the way that you think. So, but I will tell you this, in my thoughts, my opinion, when it happens, why it's happening. So that's always something to keep in mind. Be sensitive about. So, but again, I just so love this couple. Now, one of the things that broke the internet again, at least in my thought anyways, yesterday, was the fact that Ashanti did drop her exclusive ET Online interview, which was a really good interview. Like, if you haven't watched any of Ashanti and NELLY interviews separately, because I don't really think they've done too many together, their interviews are fun. Like, the people they actually go interview with, I don't want to list all the ones that I can think of at this point because I'll end up missing someone. But at the end of the day, they have done some really great, fun interviews, right? And interviews not just about their situation as a couple. Of course, that's always been fascination for interviewers to ask, because we always want to know. We love love. Everybody wants to be in love. Everybody wants to know about love, right? So at the end of the day, it was just really, really cool to watch back a lot of their interviews. And quite frankly, when those interviews were out originally, I didn't even know they existed. And so, like I said, last year I went down the rabbit hole of all things because I needed a complete escape. And it was fun to go on YouTube and pull up every video, I think, interview that I could find. And it just was a lot of fun. And I also enjoy listening to individuals when they talk about their craft and their music. And one thing that I miss, and I don't know if this is how you feel, if you can drop that down in the comment section, but one thing I miss is about when it comes to celebrities in regards to whether it's movies or music, and we'll stay in the music, they're doing interviews speaking about that craft, speaking about where it came from, what the inspiration was, how they came about, those types of helpful things that allow us to learn more about them through their music, right? I'm much more interested in those things than I would ever be interested in their every waking moment of the day kind of personal life thing. It's just how I feel. I am very driven by seeing people actually come together and do things that they love to do, that they enjoy to do, and continue to do, and to kind of see how the ins and outs and the good and the bad and all that good stuff that's associated with that. So I really do enjoy the interviews that they give. They really share a story about their songs and where they came from, what it meant. And, it's just so nice to hear music that you can relate to, that it can apply to you. And sing along, because that's the one thing that will always pass the test for me. It usually takes a while for me to actually like anything as far as music right away. I don't know why, I love music, but I'm usually, I don't know, something, my ear just, it listens for something different maybe. So whenever I come across someone that, wow, right on the first time hearing it, I like it. Okay, then there's something there, for me. So yeah, so if you have not had an opportunity to check out any of their interviews with anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, it doesn't matter what kind of interview it was, go ahead and peruse YouTube, because there's several of them out there, and they're really just, fun to watch, really easy, and just, if you need a break on something, that's a fun way to do it. So, but yeah, again, so yesterday, what drops is her exclusive interview, and she's actually on, I think she's like on the second site of her maternity shoot, which a lot of people were waiting for. And from what we can see, a lot of footage that's been dropped on there on Instagram, online. I'm sure there's some stuff out here already on YouTube, through her Instagram, as well as ET Online Instagram. Check those out, because they're a lot of fun. Fan pages are, my goodness, they got content for days and weeks and months off of this alone. So there's a lot of great edits out there. So I really encourage you, if you're interested in just really a nice watch, go ahead and check some of that stuff out there on Instagram, as well as on the YouTube, and put some of those videos and put together, because it is a lot of fun. We're about to drink summertime, so it's all feel good, right? So yeah, with that, it's just, yeah, they're just a great couple, and the love and all of that is just a great thing. So in addition to that, she also talked a little bit more, gave a little bit more details about how the proposal went for both of them. As we know, both of them are very private people for the most part. They're not going to sit here and give their whole dossier of their entire life story, and that's really not required, not necessary. I just want them to be happy, and however you're doing it way over here is great, and just make some good music, and we're good. That's all I'm looking for at this point. But yeah, but it was so fun. Her ring is absolutely stunning, gorgeous, it's beautiful. I don't know what else to say about it. It's beautiful. It is probably one of my favorites, and I'm not always, I have a very select, I guess, shaping of certain rings that I like, and hers is gorgeous, absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. So yeah, it was just fun. She's happy, she's glowing, she's rested, which is great, because getting it in with her touring and all the many shows that she's been posting last year. But from what I understand, she's been pretty much nonstop on the road for years, and I didn't even really know that until last year. So yeah, me and my husband, this was a birthday celebration of mine, and I wanted to, because I was just enjoying the footage of the videos that people were taking and going live and showing. And I said, I want to go to one of their concerts. So we hopped in the car, went to another state, and went to one of their concerts. We actually went to spin the block in April, and oh my gosh, it was so fun. They give a good show. They're actually the first concert that I've been to in quite some time. Yeah, quite some time. And quite frankly, some people were acting a fool in open spaces that I just had zero interest in going. But for them, I said, I'll make that sacrifice. And I'm so glad I did. It really was a fun evening. And they spotlighted other local artists and stuff that they did a nice job. And the night just kept on moving. And quite frankly, we were in there for like good 5+ hours. I have never been in a concert that long before and enjoyed myself. Oh my gosh, it was a great time. Yeah, we were out late that night enjoying every bit of it. And just, for me, for this birthday, I just really wanted to be in a space of just happiness and glee, and that's it. I don't want nothing else, no other requirements, but just to be happy and have a good time, have a little cocktail and all that good stuff, and just enjoy myself with some good food, some good music, and I got all of that, and I'm so happy that I did it. And if you have not had an opportunity to go see them tour, I really highly suggest that you will have a good time. I know that Ashanti is now, I would say, pretty much on hiatus for her touring, because obviously she's going to be bringing child into the world here probably within a couple months or so. And but she gives a great show, and so I feel that she's going to be back on the road again. I don't know why I feel like it's going to happen sooner rather than later, because I think that the love and the resurgence of the music and stuff that's going on now, it's like kind of calls you. And so I think we'll be seeing that soon. I'm looking forward to the music from her. I'm looking forward to, continued shows from both of them. Nelly gives a great show. I've never seen Nelly in concert before either. And so seeing him, he was really good. They really give it their all. And I appreciate that as a person that comes to have a good time. I feel like the night was so complete, my birthday was so complete. And quite frankly, it's always a hit and miss, especially when you don't are not familiar or haven't gone to a show for someone. You hope you have a good time, and oh my gosh, did I? And I will most certainly go and see this again. It's something that's so. And I know she's got movies and stuff like that coming out. So yeah, I'm cool with all of it. I mean, it's great, it's fun, and we're just here for the ride to see it. I think it's also very motivating and inspiring too. So yeah. But again, that interview was such a great interview, and I wanted to kind of share and talk about it as well, and get your thoughts and just what you feel about the interview and what you thought about just all of the reconciliation of it all, I guess, and well wishes and all of that, which I hope you feel free to share down below. At the end of the day, it's so nice to see God work, and I think in this situation, that's exactly what you're saying. And I love it. I love it when it happens for me. I love it when I see it for other people. I think one of my inspirational moments will always be captured in watching someone win. And I think that's what they're doing, that they're definitely in a winning season. And I think that they're stacking up on their winning season, that if there's any time where things get a little trepidatious, and that does happen for all of us, they'll have enough of their foundation to carry them through. I think this is in game for both of them. And I'm excited for that, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a real pain behind trying to find somebody. So when you do, you really gotta, you really have to appreciate that for what it is and foster that, right? Love it, foster it, work for it, because, you can't replace people. So at the end of the day, I am so happy. But, let's go ahead and get into this article. And, I want to see, your thoughts, obviously, as well. So let's go ahead and click on in. And, we got all stuff like that. Got going on here. Oh, yeah, there's a happy couple there. All right. And again, this article comes from ET Online. It is pretty much a nice little dossier of the interview, but I do highly encourage you to go out there and take a look for the video as well. It is fun. It really is. It's just a nice, really great interview, and it's been a while since I think I've seen such a great interview, really good sit down, and it really did meet that expectation wholeheartedly. Basically, the article shares that the mom-to-be opens up about her first pregnancy with ET after announcing her engagement to Nelly in April. Basically, she says becoming a mother has always been in Ashanti's future, but even she didn't expect it would come along with an engagement to Nelly. So good. So good. Never in a million years did I think we would be here, the 43-year-old singer tells ET's Adidra Behair in an exclusive interview. 10 years ago, maybe yes, but after our breakup, I didn't even think we'd ever have a conversation again. Ashanti and Nelly, 49, who rekindled their long-time on-again, off-again romance last year after calling it quits in 2013, have become inseparable since they sent the R&B world into a frenzy after being spotted together for the first time last year. The pair began the roller coaster romance back in 2003, which at one point the rapper claimed was based in the media. And I do remember seeing an interview where he said that. But before officially calling it quits in 2013 is when that interview came out. Although they played coy about their status for years, Ashanti confirmed in March of 2015 that they were a couple until 2 years prior to that point. And I believe that was on the Meredith. I can't remember her last name, Meredith. I don't remember. I think Meredith was the first thing. She's been on The View. That was the interview. She doesn't have a talk show anymore, but yeah, I remember that. Let's go ahead and continue. A decade later, the two unexpectedly reconnected. Joe and Ja Rule's Versus battle in 2021, which again, if you have not seen that Versus, go ahead and check out on YouTube. It's out there. Nelly got Ashanti's number from none other than her DJ, D City. And I knew that happened. I knew that happened. I mean, I wasn't there. But I felt like that happened. Like, I feel like Nelly had been trying to get a hold of Ashanti in some way or form, whether it was through sending smoke signals, messages, whatever the case may be. He was making himself known to her and her aura. And that's just how I feel about that. So it makes me feel differently. But any event, but I felt like there was a post that her DJ City did, and it was it might have been to the birthday post for Nelly, and basically just saying that, they've been cool for 10 years. And I said, you know what? I bet you he was one of those close confidants to her that was helping Nelly along, to get there connected. So I think that was really, really cool. For that to take place. So basically DJ City, and well, here she is 3 years later, engaged and taking ET behind the scenes of her maternity shoot with photographer Derek Planks, where she shared how Nelly reacted to her pregnancy. So I am so glad that I was right on that. Look, I'm sure several people probably felt the same thing as well, because there's just no way that they didn't have some help along the way. She also further says, I was so shocked and happy and emotional. Ashanti says of confirming her pregnancy, I always dreamed about it. I wanted it so, so bad. And I just feel like the timing was perfect. And I feel that it's so perfect for her. The maternity shoot is on the beach, which Ashanti tells me is authentic to her. And of course, if you have taken a dive down her Instagram, you will see just that. From what I understand, she used to go, and will still continues to go, viral for going on vacation. So yeah, definitely lots of footage out there for that. To be on the beach, out in nature and the sunshine, that's what makes me smile and makes me happy, genuinely from within, Taylor explains. Then obviously the princess girly glam Ashanti vibe is there as well. And I just love that for her. I mean, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. Really do love that for her. She further explains, the foolish singer shares that she suspected she was expecting when she missed her period, which was after the viral December 2023 incident where Nelly rubbed her belly while the pair was performing on stage at the rapper's annual Black and White Ball in St. Louis. And for I understand that Nelly had been doing his Black and White Ball for several years, and then during the time, ironically, that he was split from Ashanti, I think he did one more ball in that last year, and then I don't think they did another ball since last year, December 2023. And I did see a lot of the footage with the ball, and of course the fan pages out there put a lot of great edits and got a lot of footage out there for us to all see, so we can feel like we were there as well. And it looked like a good time was had. I know that Nelly does a really nice job at providing awards and scholarship money and stuff like that, and really giving back to his community and to really just St. Louis as a whole. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing. When you are much given, is much required, but also much given, you really should look at all those blessings and always look at how you can help others as well within that capacity. So I think that was really great. They both were that way. Ashanti gives a lot as well. She deals with different charities. She is a philanthropist herself. And so it's just lovely to see. And yeah, they seemed like they had a really good time. And at the end of the day, everybody got a free show as well. So that's always good too, right? That is always good. So Nelly did, because I did see it when it happened, and I was like, whoa. But she's saying that no, she was not pregnant at that time. At least obviously probably pregnant, but did not know at that time. But anyways, Nelly got tongues wagged when a video of the pair went viral. In the video, Ashanti seemingly placed her hands on her belly, prompting Nelly to rub the singer's stomach and grin at the crowd. Ashanti playfully slaps his hand away as the two burst into laughter and the audience cheers, while producer Apollo Don encourages Nelly and Ashanti to seal the deal, in which it looks like that's pretty much what's happening. Although many began speculating that the pair was expecting a child, then Ashanti tells ET that neither was pregnant at the time and the incident was a coincidence. When he blurted that out on the stage, we actually did not know. I hadn't even taken a test at the time. She goes on to explain that there was no showing of the belly, and she placed her hands on as she was just trying to adjust that pendant on her black dress. She had a really beautiful flower pendant. I think people actually started looking it up, and it had something to do with basically life, birth, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it just sent the internet into a frenzy. But it was a fun frenzy. She adds, I was pushing it down, and he's like making it look like something, and I'm like, no. It wasn't until the missed period that Ashanti suspected she was pregnant. Funny how that happened, and immediately notified her fiance via FaceTime after she confirmed her suspicion. I couldn't wait. I had to get it out, she says, and it was just like, oh, I knew. And it's so funny with guys, right, in relationships. And let me know if you ladies, if you feel that way as well. Sometimes they know things, before you actually do, or before you actually are admitting to it. So when he just seems like he's so resolute in that, and honestly, I knew what I did. So, and when he said he was on it, he was on it. So at the end of the day, it worked out, and all is well in the Haynes household. He was so happy, and we were both smiling, and it was so funny. Ashanti says of Nelly's reaction to their big news. I was actually at his mom's house, which I think is so beautiful, and because she's so close to her mom, so it was just what a really picturesque situation to be in, that you're at the love of your life's mother's home when you find this out. I mean, that's so great. I mean, it can't even be better, right? He was in the studio, which I'm sure he is because he's always in the studio. It was a really cool moment. It was a little bit of everything. And just so happy for her on that front. The baby will be Ashanti's first and Nelly's third child. Hot in Here. Rapper is the father of adult children Chanel 29, and which is lovingly she goes by Nana, and Cornell Haynes the third, 24. I think he might be 25 now, but saying 24 at this point. And he's lovingly known as Trey from a previous relationship, and which I also do love. What little bit I hear about that as well, that everybody just seems to get along, and there's so much respect in that situation. And my goodness, that's how it should be, right? I mean, love and respect, they kind of go hand in hand. And I just think it's so great that everybody can come together and, just be in a positive space, because it's so helpful for everyone in every situation, because, you're going to be connected for life. So I think that is so beautiful. I think that, however they got to that point, they probably could write a book on it and share it with the world, because quite frankly, I think it's a beautiful thing when, parents and co-parents in a way that is still fulfilling whatever is needed for their children, and that they become the first and not the relationship. Once the relationship is over, the relationship is over. So and just really recognizing what is best and what is important. And I think it's great. And I know he had his show Nellyville, and I think that's on BT Plus. So if you haven't gone out there, I did go out there and I watched a few episodes, because I really didn't watch it much when it was at the time when it was airing, and I wish I had. I don't know what I was doing in life back then, but anyways, I kind of, as part of my rabbit hole going down, and I did watch a few episodes, and they're funny, right? The whole family they're great, and so it was just nice to see that, and I'm just so happy for them, and what it appears their family is extremely happy as well. So kudos to all of that. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. Nelly also had adopted his sister, Jackie Donahue's kids, Sean and Sydney Thomas, as well, after she had passed away from leukemia in 2005. And they do seem very, very close-knit as a family, so it's a beautiful thing. Ashanti announced her pregnancy in an Instagram video, which shows the singer, which also is something else at the getting ready for a performance after one of her handlers checks in on her. Ashanti's mom, Tina Douglas, checks in a second time, asking the singer how much time she needs until she is ready. Ashanti emerges dressed to the nines and responds, "I'm going to need about 9 months," prompting Tina to express shock at the pregnancy news. "I have been so blessed. This has been an amazing pregnancy. I have 0 symptoms." Ashanti tells me of pregnancy. "I am still performing," and at the time she was. "So I am so happy and so blessed." Although the singer has been able to keep up with the demands of her work, she admits that it's been hard to change how her body has been changing, because as we all could imagine, and for those who have experienced pregnancy and given birth, your body changes rapidly right before you. And for all of you that were very aware of Ashanti's postings, she's a bathing suit kind of gal. So it's probably been really wild just to how fast things are going, but I'm pretty sure once all is said and done, she'll be right back into doing that again. So I'm here for it. I think it's great. She's showing you that you can do it, really her definition of doing it all, right? We don't always do everything perfect, but you can do many things, and I think that that's something for them to do. And also what's important, is by the fact that they can do many things, is that they're actually loving what they're doing, and that's important. So kudos to that. Yeah, although the singer has been able to keep up with the demands of work, she admits that it's been hard to change for her changing body. The growing bump, there's nothing I can do about it, that she basically laughingly said. But she also admits that having the news out there has been a breath of fresh air, even for two really private people. And yeah, because that way you don't have to deal with all the speculation, the questions. It's here, you see it, now we move on. I always knew I wanted it to happen. You know, I always had dreams, I had visions. It was going to happen, she shares. Never in a million years did I think Nelly and I would be here. Like 10 years ago, maybe, but after our breakup, I didn't even think we'd have a conversation again. Yeah, I think most people would feel that way. Now that it is happening, Ashanti says that she is using her mother for parenting inspiration. And let me tell you, that's one relationship I absolutely love and adore seeing. It's her relationship with her mother, her relationship with her sister and her mother, and, you know, just all bring them together. I think that they are such an example of what love and cherishing of each other is in family, especially in a situation with mother and daughters. I don't understand, and we're not going to go down the rabbit hole of all the reasons why mother and daughters don't seem to work as well as they should, because you would be here forever, and it would be a whole other different video, so we're not going to do that. But I will say on the situation here, from what we have seen consistently for all these 20 plus years of these two in this family structure, that they got it right. Maybe not perfect, they got it right. And at the end of the day, they can still continue to celebrate in all this beautiful glory because they got it right. You know, so yeah, they definitely could write a book on that, you know, like, I don't know, mother's love, or, you know, mothers and daughters, and, you know, those types of things. I don't know if they have already done something like that, but boy, I'm pretty sure it would be a really great read if you did. But yeah, they just have a beautiful relationship. I'm so happy for her to have that, because so many, unfortunately, so many females do not have that with their mother. So yeah, it's one to be cherished. So for those of you who do have that, I am so happy for you, because, you know, yeah, it's just beautiful. So she goes on further to say, honestly, if I could be like a small portion of what my mom is, I would be amazingly spectacular and out of this world. Honestly, I think my mom was just the epitome of unconditional love. It's just unparalleled. We think of a selfless person, especially with my sister and I, and everyone says the same thing. Nelly, all the people in my life, all my peers, friends, the team, they're like, nah, Momager, that's a different bond. She's built very different. And I just love that for her. Quipping that they call Tina the General, Ashanti says she looks forward to being the mini general. And although she's keeping mum on the baby sex and their list of potential names, the singer has no qualms about sharing her hopes about how she and Nelly will tackle parenting. So that's just so loving. Ashanti says that she's grateful that her fiance already has experience in this area. She says, I think he's going to be amazing. He's so good with his kids. When they have a chance to spend time together, he makes it count. He gushes of her future husband. They have all had to make sacrifices because of his career and the traveling and them growing up, you know. But when they are together, it's the best thing in the world to watch. And often she will share on her Instagram posts or her stories, it's being with the family and friends. It's like a movie. And I could imagine it must be, with a lot of laughter and, I mean, just a lot of fun. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, family, at the end of the day, family, the people you keep around you, it matters. It just does. And when you have the right people around you in your circle, whether it's a family by birth or family by choice, when you have that, it can be unstoppable. I mean, you would not believe sometimes the amount of influence that can have on your psyche, even if you're not actively talking about that or actively addressing it. It's just, it adds to who you are and your aura about you. And it's just a beautiful thing. She further says, I'm excited about seeing this little human version of myself in the person that I love so much here. The singer gushes. I'm really looking forward to having an extension of both of us be with us and watching that spirit grow. It's an amazing thing. And oh my gosh, I think that just kind of tugged at me just a minute, just to think about that, like, yeah, that how you can build on something and then create something so beautiful in human form, and watch the things about you and then mixed into one person and all the excitement. And let me tell you, that baby is going to be fully loved, fully taken care of, spoiled to the nines. They both have big families. They're very loving families. And oh my gosh, if this kid is not one of the most luckiest kids, and I'm so happy for him because we need a lot more kids to be lucky. We really do. And again, they're celebrities, right? They have the means and all these wonderful things. And so it's so great for them. But I think that what's also important you can take from that is how can you make that version, your version for you, right? Not to match up and measure to what they're doing or how they're doing, whatever that means, but just, how you can make your life fulfilled in your family scenarios, in your relationships. And that is what I feel like the message really is behind this relationship and what they have shared so far. And again, remembering that it's something and down the line was unfortunately to happen and they didn't make it, which I do not think that's going to be the case. I would be completely shocked if anything happened outside of them being together. They would be fine on their own. They would still love and be mature and still do what they need to do. Well, when I say mature, whatever, right? But they're going to be cool. They're going to be fine. The world will keep moving and keep spinning around, right? So it's just so nice to see them in this space. And I wish them, myself personally, all of the happiness and love and God's blessing that they have and the goal and just the continued communication, which I think is extremely important when it comes to relationships, and especially those that actually are functioning and working, and knowing when it's time to throw in the towel and when it's time to pick that towel back up is a really good thing as well. And sometimes picking up that towel again is not the thing for you, and that's okay. What you do is you take those lessons from those previous situations and you move forward in life, and then you look for better situations. And that's really the moral of the story, right? Not everybody's happy ending is going to be the same. It's not supposed to be. We're all different human beings and we're here with different purposes. And at the end of the day, you can find beauty in your own life, right? It's so great to see the curated versions of what celebrities can share with you and give to you and provide to you. And that's wonderful. And I really appreciate those who are a little bit more relatable, if you will, a little bit more, close in that I can see that that's a real thing there, right? But understand that really what's important also at the same time is we enjoy what they do, we enjoy what they bring, we enjoy the love that they show, that you make sure that you're showing and showing up in that love for yourself and your family, your dynamic, and your relationship, because that is 100% important. And I really do hope the best for them and any couple. If yourself is embarking on some new family situations or professional situations, I wish the best for you as well. And yeah, I'm just so glad to have been able to sit and chat with you about this story and this couple. Again, you really should take a look at it if you're interested and want to see the video. You will put a smile on your face just for the fact that it's just beauty personified, right? And just happiness personified. And there's a realism to the conversation. And I think that relatable aspect is always going to win in my book anyways. And I would think for many as well. So I would love to know your thoughts. Definitely share them down below. All your positivity and love, I think goes a long way. And it does reach through these airways or digital pathways or whatever you want to call it. But feel free to, drop your congratulations. You never know what videos may pop up and whatever may be seen. And I just think it's just nice. And I do feel that the more goodness that's put out there in different modalities, the closer and the more often it will reach those people by every way that it's supposed to be. But I think with that, I thank you for spending some time with me. I do plan on coming back later on today, and I do plan on coming back. So definitely, if you have not subscribed, I hope you considered, and then go ahead and subscribe. Just be part of the family. I would love to have you. We would love to have you. And I would just having the communication on this journey for this channel as well. Definitely, if you would not mind, I would appreciate if you enjoyed the content and enjoyed the couple, whatever, this video, go ahead and give me a like on the way out the door. I would really appreciate it if you have already done so. Thank you so much just for being here. Thank you for taking the time, and I wish for you a beautiful day. And just really focus on you and your family and the things that are important to you, and really take a hard look at what is going on in your area to make sure that you are living and doing the best for you. And I think on that note, I will bid you adieu. Again, I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and I hope to see you a bit later on. But again, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure your notification bells are on as well, so you know when I'll be popping up on live again for the next story. So with that, take care, be safe, and